Tomatoes. These ruby jewels of the culinary world truly despise the cold, a reflection of their Mediterranean origins. Storing them in the fridge not only halts their ripening process but also adversely affects their aroma and flavor. The cold causes a textural disorder, turning their succulence into a mushy and melancholic state. Moreover, prolonged exposure to cold can break down the internal membranes within the fruit, releasing enzymes that degrade its flavor. To preserve their splendor, tomatoes should be kept in a cool place outside the refrigerator, perhaps on a countertop fruit bowl, where they can gracefully mature, developing their full flavor and natural sweetness. Turning tomatoes stem down can extend their shelf life, minimizing moisture loss and preventing air from entering through the opening points. Potatoes. The cold environment turns their precious starch into sugar faster than you can say mashed potatoes, altering their flavor and texture. This conversion not only sweetens the potato in an unwanted manner but can also cause a darker color when fried or baked, due to the Maillard reaction. Yes, that chemical process that gives cooked foods a golden color and delicious flavor. To avoid this sugary fate, potatoes yearn for a cool, dry, and well-ventilated place, such as a basement or a dark pantry, where they can rest in peace, away from light, which can encourage them to sprout. An extra tip: avoid storing them in sealed plastic bags, which retain moisture and accelerate the decomposition process. Instead, opt for a paper bag or a cardboard box to allow them to breathe. Bread. This handmade wonder that unites cultures around the world faces a real tragedy when confined to the cold of the refrigerator. Cooling accelerates starch retrogradation, a process where gelatinized starch begins to crystallize, causing the bread to harden more quickly than if it were kept at room temperature. Instead of preserving its softness and freshness, the fridge turns it into a rigid and sad block, ready for the trash. If you don't plan to devour it in a day or two, the freezer is your ally, capable of pausing time and keeping the bread in suspended animation until you're ready for that cozy breakfast or an impromptu sandwich. When freezing, slice the bread to make it easier to take out only the amount you need, thawing it directly in the toaster or oven to revive its texture and comforting warmth. Onions. With their rich layers of flavor and culinary potential, onions detest the moisture and confinement of the refrigerator, where they tend to become soft and lose their structure. This humid environment accelerates the rotting process and can encourage the growth of molds, depriving us of their transformative magic in the kitchen. The ideal way to store them is in a cool, dry, and well-ventilated place, perhaps in a net or basket that allows air circulation, pampering them with the breeze they need to stay firm and ready to elevate your dishes. An interesting fact: onions release sulfuric gases that can cause nearby fruits and vegetables to ripen or rot more quickly, so keep them in their own solitary company to avoid this domino effect in your pantry. And remember, cut or chopped onions can be stored in the fridge for a short period in a sealed container, but it's best to use them as soon as possible to enjoy their flavor and freshness. Honey. This golden and sweet treasure of nature is known for its almost eternal shelf life when properly stored. This viscous liquid is a miracle of beekeeping, packing antibacterial and antioxidant properties that keep it fresh for centuries. However, refrigerating it is an act of futility that only solidifies its texture, making it difficult to handle and less enjoyable to the palate. Crystallization is a natural process for honey, especially at colder temperatures, but this does not mean it has spoiled. If your honey crystallizes, simply warm it in a water bath, maintaining a gentle temperature to restore its fluid majesty. Store honey in an airtight container, away from direct light and heat, to preserve its nutritional properties and exceptional flavor. Thus, honey will remain a perfect accompaniment to your recipes, teas, and desserts, ready to sweeten your life without any hassle. Oils. From robust olive oil to delicate walnut and grapeseed oils, they are fundamental pillars of cooking, each bringing its own personality and flavor profile. However, their preservation requires attention to detail, as they are susceptible to oxidation and rancidity when exposed to heat, light, and air. Refrigerating certain oils, particularly those rich in polyunsaturated fats like walnut and flaxseed oils, can extend their shelf life, but at the expense of their fluidity and convenience. They may become cloudy and thick in the cold, although this does not affect their quality. For daily use, keep a small amount on hand in a cool, dark place, transferring the rest to the refrigerator if your home is particularly warm or if you rarely use these special oils. More stable oils, like olive oil, can and should remain outside the fridge, in a cupboard or pantry, where they are ready to spring into action, whether in a sauté or a dressing. Opt for dark containers that minimize light exposure, and consider buying in smaller quantities to ensure freshness and quality. I must confess, the next item was in my fridge, so I decided to include it here. The blue tonic for weight loss should not be placed in the refrigerator, as it may lose the main nutrients that help speed up your metabolism. It's ideal to prepare it fresh. And for those wondering, blue tonic? What's that? It's a vitamin that boosts your metabolism by targeting the real cause of weight gain. The link to the website is in the description and the first pinned comment for you to see how it works. But be careful, if used incorrectly, you might lose a lot of weight.